National CB Radio Day, which a lot of people think is a thing of the past. They still use it. We have a lot of truckers that listen to this show. We got Trucker Stone. We got Trucker Ron, who's up there out of Pomfret, Maryland. We got Trucker Russ, who you just heard there. We don't hear from him a lot.
Has
He
not
hates
figured
my
out
guts
how to
now.
run a computer.
I know, because I'm still here. Trucker Sean, I think he's out of Arizona. But I think truckers still use the Citizens Band. You know, it doesn't cost anything. The equipment's cheap. And all you need is like a cool name to be out there on the CB. They say 10-4 good buddy, and since today's date is 10-4, I assume that's where National CB Radio Day comes from. And, you know, there's a lot of talk in 2022 about how companies are trying to automate trucks, whereas truck driving is one of the last jobs in America that still kind of undervalued, I guess, or they still always need people. So National CB Radio Day. This song single-handedly, this Convoy was a guy who, we've gone over this before. I think I did a whole segment on this some time ago about how this guy put a series of bread, he was an advertising guy, and he put together an advertising campaign for a bread company about a guy in a truck. It was a series of advertisements, and he turned it into this Convoy song, which was a massive hit for about 18 months. And they put out a movie called Convoy. So there was like a 2-year period in the 70s where everybody was talking about CB radios and truckers and the whole bit. But CB radios are still around. You can't count on Alexa for your goddamn CB radio. You got to be on the thing. You got to be this here's Tractor Shadow or whatever they call them. Hey, this is a Wombat out here on 71 South. Invisible Joker here. Hey, Brandon.
Yes.
If that's your real name. What's going on, Brandon?
Oh, not much. Driving home from work, getting ready to go up to Cleveland watch a concert tonight.
Yeah. What's the concert tonight?
Five Finger Death Punch.
Five Finger Death Punch, right. Five Flavored Fruit Punch is out there tonight with Megadeth opening up, and they got some good bands on the front of that thing.
Oh, I'm actually excited to see The Who.
H.U.
Yes.
What's up, Brandon?
I've actually, not much. I was actually calling just to, I had a scary movie recommendation for Mary.
Ready. Got a whole list going.
Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh, come on.
Why don't you just give her Wolf Creek while you're at it? Yeah.
Well, it's a B horror movie. My buddy bought that a few years ago up there at Cinema Wasteland. And it's been several years now since I've seen it, but as almost 43 years old, it is hard to match any movie to the scariness of that. It just seems like it has that real feel to it, and it's something that you could actually see happening.
It got banned in a lot of countries at the time because people thought it was real footage. Although I think it does. Yeah, I think it does have actual animal murder in it, but the rest of the movie is fake. Did you ever get around to watching The Green Inferno? That was kind of Eli Roth trying to resurrect the Cannibal Holocaust vibe.
I didn't get to that one, no, but I do like Eli Roth. I do like Hostel Part 2.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Cannibal Holocaust is a lot of it's a lot of like cutting people's junk off, and yeah. Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate the call. But it's but it was banned in a lot of countries. I think it's an Italian movie, but it was banned in a lot of countries because they thought it was real, and the guy had to like prove that it wasn't real or something. It was getting some, So listen, people aren't just dummies in the 21st century. It's not hard to convince people of anything. It's part of the human condition. By the way, happy birthday to our buddy Mike in Parma, who always sends us funny texts. He rarely, if ever, misses. Mary, does she like vampire movies?
No. I don't know. I don't know that I've ever seen one,
good.
To be honest with you. I don't think I've ever seen a vampire. Oh, no. Son of Sam? Is that a vampire movie?
No. That was a movie about...
serial killer.
Yeah, David Berkowitz.
Is that the one where the little kid is tapping on the window real slow?
That
in the middle of the night? Son of Salem. Salem's Lot.
Salem's
Is
Lot,
that a
yeah.
vampire movie?
It is. Stephen King.
Saw that very young as well.
Yeah.
Lost Boys is always a fun watch.
Lost Boys.
I don't know if it holds up, but it's a good nostalgia watch if you've seen it when you were a kid.
You're a kid.
What? You're a kid. You know what I say? I say you're a kid. Okay.
From Dusk Till Dawn. That's a great vampire movie.
What about Near Dark?
I've never
What about 12 Days of Summer? What's the one with Josh Hartnett, the comic book? 12
40 Days
nights,
of Night.
4 Days of Night.
It's not that long.
Or no,
4 Nights of Days. It's in Alaskan.
I think I'm missing up because he's got the 40
48
days.
hours of nights.
He's got 40 days and 40 nights where he doesn't have sex for 40 days and 40 nights.
That's
But then he's also got like
Does he turn into a vampire?
No, 30 Days
30
of
days
Night
of Night.
is what it's called. That's right.
You know what we just
that
watched?
guy's never had a good haircut.
That was also terrible. Day Shift. I think it's new. It's on.
Oh, God,
it
Jamie
just came out
Foxx?
with Jamie Foxx. He's like a vampire hunter or something.
Yeah.
He has to make $10,000 in a week to get his daughter to school
yeah,
or
I
something.
didn't see it.
It was pretty bad.
These movies come and go so quickly that I can't.
Snoop's in it.
Huh?
Snoop's in it.
Well, Snoop's in everything now.
Yeah, it was really bad.
He's in your breakfast aisle now, too. Speaking of which, I've got a bit of food news here for you. Taco Bell is apologizing for their breakfast menu, and they're using Pete Davidson to do it. Have you seen the Taco Bell commercial with Pete Davidson?
No.
Is he fresh out of rehab?
Was he in rehab?
Did he go to rehab?
Yeah, he went to rehab or like a mental health facility after Kim Kardashian broke up.
Well, those are two different things.
Yeah.
A mental health facility and
Sorry,
rehab are two different things.
Mental health facility. He was on lockdown for like 2 months.
You know, I had already forgotten that he had dated Kim Kardashian. Like, that's so not even on my radar now. And they were together for, although they weren't together for as long as it seemed,
was
because they
9
were
months.
so, God, it seemed longer than that. Just because there was something about them every single day.
It's me, Pete Davidson, here to tell you about the most amazing breakfast you could ever dream of, according to me. Here at the Bell Breakfast, you can find a tasty, simple breakfast, like the Breakfast Crunch Wrap. Because that's all you need in the morning. Fluffy eggs, melty cheese, sausage, hash browns, always wrapped in a warm tortilla. That's the Bell Breakfast way.
See, they're basically saying that we've really gone, you got to give it up for Taco Bell. They're always trying new things. And with that comes a lot of flops. But I'd rather have somebody try and fail than never try at all. And that goes for my fast food establishments. So the apology is kind of tongue-in-cheek. He's like, they kind of went overboard with the naked egg taco and the waffle taco and all that. And now they're just like, you want eggs?
In a burrito or a tortilla?
Something.
We got it.
Yeah, all that.
We got it.
Right. I was also reading about a woman who is accused of stealing thousands of dollars from a corn stand.
It's cold.
I have so much money in a corn stand.
Well, there's always money in the corn stand.
I love cone. Cone. I hope you have a cone-tastic day. It's cone. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome, all right. Some sugar in that corn. Woman in Indiana, you know, if you, a lot of Midwestern states will have self-serve corn stands where you can get corn, loose grain corn, primarily for hunters, farmers, things like that. And it's very much on the honor system. You're supposed to go and you're supposed to take some, and you're supposed to leave the appropriate amount of money. Well, this woman was not only stealing corn, she was stealing money over the span of several weeks. Just a middle-aged lady in Nowheresville, Indiana. And she denied it, of course, until they showed her the video. And then it quickly went from, well, I didn't do it that many times, and they showed her more video, to I didn't steal that much money, and then they figured out the accounting on it. And they, they're always right when people are lying, and they're always kicking the can down the road. So
Like how much money and how many times do you have to do it before you go, well, I guess that, you know what? That was pretty
You
bad.
got me.
it's just a regular looking lady with like a dyed mom haircut, a 67-year-old woman named Teresa Kiner. She was identified on Facebook by her family members because people didn't know who it was. And her own family.
They ratted her out.
Yeah, this is usually
Love
anytime there's some scumbag like this too, whether it's something as dumb as a corn stand or somebody, trying to rig an election, it's always their family who turns them in because their family has known what a piece of crap they have been for much longer than anyone else. It's always the family. Who is turning in all those January 6 dopes? Their girlfriends, their boyfriends, their family members.
They didn't want to have to deal with all the wreckage that they left. Like, people know who they're dating or who they're related to. They'll get turned in, too.
Well, I'm sure there were just as many people who protected family members, too, because they were on the same wavelength. But I'm just saying, those people, if you're a jagoff, nobody knows you better than your family.
Yes.
This woman was accused of taking $2,000 from one of these self-serve corn machines. You're just supposed to walk up and leave cash. There's a money bin, and you take the corn. And she was stealing money and corn. And so they put the owner of this thing, he's got cameras, he put her photo on Facebook and said, hey, please tell me who this is. And her family turned her in. And she was trying to fake it to make it look like she was leaving some change or whatever, but they said she took about $2,000. This 67-year-old woman. Well, I got to tell you, you boomers are intent on ruining everything, aren't you?
Yes.
Now the honor system,
Everything.
you ruin the economy, ruin sex.
Mm-hmm.
Used to be hippies, but you fell in line just like everybody else when you got older. And now you're going to ruin corn stands. We can't even have self-serve corn stands in this country because you boomers. Give me that, it's mine.
Pretty cool. They used to be pretty cool with like androgyny and stuff like that too. And now, nah.
Well, they call it trans now. That's why it's not okay. They're like, oh, if you just want to look like a girl,
Yeah,
if
look
you
like a
can
girl
take
like
the
Motley
makeup
Crue,
off, then it's okay.
We were playing dress up. That's why it's called playing dress up.
Yeah, but it was
Y'all really
still,
dress
but it
up
was
like
called
that.
trans back then too.
It was called tranny back then.
It went from vestite to gender. So this woman's says she's going to pay back the corn stand.
Man, that is shameful. When you have to write a $2,000 check to a corn stand, you're like, man, I messed
Dear
up.
corn stand owner.
After we talked about that fish story yesterday, that's all my feed was. I don't know if the algorithm heard us talking about it, but like
It's a huge story.
I'm saying all the people I went to. I mean, those are the people I went to high school with.
Yeah.
I went to with. I'm not going to call them rednecks or hillbillies, but they went fishing with their paw. They would call off school, or they wouldn't go to school because it was like deer hunting season or deer hunting day. So these people were like pissed off, and they were like, man, I tell you, I wish I was there. That guy wouldn't make it out alive. I'm like, you guys are about to kill this dude over some like metal balls inside of a fish.
Yes.
They're already
There's
like
$30,000. It all comes down to money.
Well, it comes down to money.
Anytime
It comes
people get
down
mad,
to-
it all comes down to money.
And it's these are guys that were trusting in a system, and this guy was being completely dishonorable. And
I know, it was just
he's lucky that it didn't get more violent.
They were writing all these think pieces like, you know, what makes a man do that? Man, when I used to fish with my dad, you know, he taught us pride. All it is you sit back with a beer and you cast your line.
Well, that's why they weren't winning any contests.
I guess so.
Dad's drunk on the boat. This guy's dad's teaching him how to wrap lead weights in fish fillets so you can win $40,000 fishing contests.
I've gone fishing a number of times. It was never with my dad, and I always hated it.
Yeah, he was out on the road.
But it was just so stinky, and it just required so much maintenance, and it's boring. Like, you just sit there and wait, and then I would always get my line would always get bit first.
But it's the calming part of it that's supposed to be. It's like people who go ice fishing. It's an excuse primarily to just sit out on the ice and drink beer.
But I wasn't calm. It was just a bunch of mosquitoes.
Right, then it wasn't for you. But I mean, there's a lot of people who really, I have friends who are way into like fly fishing.
What's that?
You got the hip waders on, and you're out there in a river, and you're just casting a big, long line out there.
So I thought fly
My
fishing.
cousin does that.
I thought fly fishing was you had to have one of those boats that had a big fan on the back of it, and you would just like go by with a
That's
net.
a swamp boat.
Okay.
Now, fly fishing, you have you're basically imitating a bug flying around on the top of the water.
Oh.
And it's one of those things where it's basically just meditation for men without saying it's meditation, because a lot of guys don't catch anything.
I have PTSD from fishing from when I was a kid. I did go fishing with my uncle.
Only you would get PTSD
No, it was
from
horrific.
fishing. I've got a break. If you want to text 35192, I will have a couple of passes for you for Carnival of Horrors down Canton Way when we get back.
The Alan Cox Show.
On our free iHeartRadio app and your favorite smart device. Just tell it to play the Alan Cox Show